The great honors I have is being a chaplain for the Miami-Dade Police Department. And part of my responsibility is to go to different events and give prayers, invocation, solace. So today was a very moving service that I went to give a prayer. And
So the end result is we talk, and I said you could do this where you can get compensated if you get hurt. But if you get hurt as a kid,
now I don't know if any of you know, right over here in Tropical Park, there is a police memorial wall where the officers that were killed from all departments, from ATF, police department, detectives, the marshals, killed in line of duty, the name is put on the wall to remember them. So today they had a special service for two officers that were they were ATF officers that were murdered in the early 80s when they were working undercover to get guns and deal with the drugs and deal with the mafia that was in town. And they lost their life. They were both very young. Now it's interesting that a person in this crowd, we had close to probably 200 people. Only two people or three people in the crowd really knew them. The rest of the people were people from the different departments. And you think about, here you have two young people passed away over almost 30 years ago, and you have hundreds of people still coming out to remember them. Remember the sacrifice that they made to make our streets safer. Remember the sacrifice that they made to make our communities where you want to live. We take it for granted a lot of times that you live in communities that you can get up in the morning and go exercise outdoors. You could take your kids to school. You could go to the store. You don't have to worry on a typical day, is what's going to happen? Is your life going to end? And the reason why we have this is because we're blessed in our community. We have the finest men and women out there on a daily basis protecting us. But unfortunately, there's some of them that lose their life. And you think about 30 years later, officers still come to remember them. It shows how deeply what they did and how they lived their life affects everyone. And once again, it reminds us how grateful we have to be to the men and women who put on the uniform, or the people that work undercover, that they are on a daily basis to protect people, protect our families. It's interesting, in this week's Torah portion, talks of the name of the Torah portion called Chaya Sarah, the life of Sarah. Now, the truth is that in this week's Torah portion talks more about Sarah passing away than the life of Sarah. So why does it say the life of Sarah? It should say the death of Sarah. So the rabbis explain that many times, when do you learn more about a person? Is after they pass away and see the impact that they had in the world. A lot of times they ask someone, the joke they asked a rabbi, a priest, actually I shouldn't joke here, a rabbi, a priest, and a minister all talking, and they asked, what would you like the people to say about you at your funeral? So the priest said, I would love for them to say that I was such a dedicated person to God, and I didn't live a life of focusing on money and other things. And the minister said he would love for them to say how he used to go out and travel to different parts of third world countries to help poor people. And they asked the rabbi, what would you like for them to say at your funeral? He says, I'd like them to say, oh, look, he's moving. It's a joke. But the truth is, people wonder, what are people going to say after they pass away? What are they going to say about you? Is the impact you had on the world. And that's what Chaya Sarah is. How did you see the impact Sarah had in the world? How do you really see how she lived? Did her children continue to live the life that she lived? Now, not always it's your biological children. Sometimes it can be the people you influence. Did they live the life that you lived, and did you inspire other people to live the life you lived? So today you see two officers that gave up their life in the early 80s to protect our community in Miami. And now you have hundreds of officers that get inspired from them, teaching them that the reason why they put on the uniform is not just because they're getting paid, but it's there to protect for our community and they realize also that they're putting their life in danger by doing this job. So some events I go to inspire people, but today's event inspired me, seeing how dedicated they are to the point of giving up their lives in order to make the world a godlier and safer place. May the two officers, Ariel and Eddie, continue to inspire everyone. Now, for those of us who are not police officers, what's the message for us? Is, do we give of ourselves to other people too? What do we give of ourselves? A lot of times we just want to give things that make us comfortable. But if it means going out of our way, time and money, or friendship, that is sometimes difficult. So really the message for us is that we ourselves have to ask ourselves, what do we give of our life for other people? Shabbat Shalom.